Is it?
Yep.
There we go. Hello and welcome. A warm welcome to you all to our Friday night live. Well, Friday
Evening
live. I'm JJ. I am a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat mostly meat. And that's why I am strong and powerful.
Ooh.
Did the title today entice you? Carnivore makes you powerful?
Well, what kind of power were you talking about?
Well, I'll be honest. I gave it exactly 1 second's thought. I typed carnivore makes you ... And then I was like, should I just leave it like that? Would that be a tease?
Ooh.
Or should I make an assertion about it makes you crazy or insane or... But I was like, I don't want any negative thing because I don't think negative things about it.
So. No. I've experienced a lot more resilience, like physical resilience, since I've been doing the carnivore diet. I have much more muscle definition. I don't know if I'm stronger per se.
I think you are.
You think so? I probably am. Yeah, I've been able to haul a lot of things and open doors. Remember back in the day when I had a hard time opening some doors?
Well, the wind would sometimes be kind of powerful and you'd have to really get your legs into it.
Yeah. But no, I think I'm stronger. I don't have any exact measurements on that. And I know I'm definitely more physically resilient as far as energy goes. But I also feel a little more powerful mentally as well.
I would agree with that you are more powerful mentally. So be careful, JJ. You're laughing.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. My apologies to all of you out there who have to bear my heinous laugh.
We were admonished in a comment.
Yes.
On actually a pretty old video that JJ's laugh is fake and forced and off-putting.
Yes.
So I just want you to know that when she's laughing, it's actually on purpose. And it is artful and is trying to lure you in with a fake personality.
Right.
Can you imagine how exhausting that would be?
I cannot imagine. Actually, when I started, I would say, well, just in college, in my school, when I was learning to be a reporter, when I got my first TV jobs, because I did very, very local news segments and so forth. And when I started life coaching, I had this idea of having to be very professional and sort of buttoned up. And that was sort of it wasn't a facade that I was putting on or a mask that I was putting on, but I definitely had to dampen down. I felt like I had to dampen down the other parts of me. So,
so if you're laughing, it is real.
Yes.
And if you're not charmed by it, you are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So carnivore makes you powerful. Does it make you feel powerful? Let us know in the comments. How many times have we rehearsed all of the benefits and the ways carnivore has improved our lives? Well, like Carrie from Homestead How, we're just going to tell it to you every single time. And even though we're tired of hearing it ourselves, there's always somebody new who needs to know it. So I've lost 35 pounds, give or take. My body composition is good.
Yes.
I'm strong. Didn't do anything for my hairdo.
No.
So I'll be honest, that eliminated IBS. I had terrible gut pain. I had to go to a gastroenterologist. I thought something was really terribly wrong. I was 45. He said, let's do a colonoscopy. He said, there's nothing wrong. It's IBS. And here, take some pills. They did nothing. I stopped taking them. My acid reflux, which was just a constant affliction, vanished within days of really going serious carnivore.
Yeah.
I did sunburn when I was just out in the sun for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's already faded and gone. But generally speaking, the sun doesn't faze me a whole lot.
No.
I tend to recover from my workouts much more quickly than I did even in my 20s and 30s, provided I eat a bunch of steak. Because back then I remember when I first started working out with my buddy, Andy, in his basement.
Yep.
And it was the weights that, with the plastic weights that are like filled with sand. And after we would do like a couple hours of ridiculous quantities of bench press, because that's all we really cared about, we would go to McDonald's to get burgers, double cheeseburgers, because we were like, we need the protein, man. One double cheeseburger. How much? Is that a half pound maybe?
No,
Not
it's
even.
not even.
It's
I
a
think
third of a
they're
pound?
about a tenth of a pound, the little regular standard patties.
Well, it's no wonder I was so incredibly sore for days and days and days. I just didn't get it.
No.
I know I'm leaving out a ton of things, but cognitively,
Right.
it helped me get off of SSRIs.
Mm-hmm.
And while I did have a resurgence of some anxiety last summer, that is pretty much reduced back down to as if I was taking my pill, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge benefit.
Yeah. And I think it's important to say, you got a little burnt yesterday. It's gone.
Yeah.
You had some anxiety. Like, things happen. Carnivore does not make you, it makes you powerful. It doesn't make you all powerful
or invulnerable.
or invulnerable.
It feels like it relative to the old pattern of life.
Yes.
And so how has it made you powerful?
I kind of already said
You already
that.
said it made you stronger.
I just feel like I have a lot more physical resilience. I had a lot of issues with energy and mood. Very low energy, very low mood. Had to recover a long time if I did an activity, whether it was exercise or just like going to Six Flags for the day. I'd be laid flat on my back for the rest of the week. It's really helped me. It's so funny because I do feel much more powerful, but I also just feel like I get to live my life.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think that was normal. And that was happening to me in my 30s pretty much. So I just felt awfully young to be laying around in bed most of the time.
I think there's another way it makes us powerful.
What?
Is that we now know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all of those decades of trying to figure out weight loss and energy and all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we tried different things.
Mm-hmm.
Always on the search, never gave up.
No.
But then we finally have come across the thing that actually is fundamental, which is the diet, our metabolism, and eating ancestrally appropriately.
Yeah. And you've mentioned, we still experiment a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
With both the diet portion and sometimes adding a supplement or two here or there, or everywhere. And yet, like you said, this is the fundamentals, and it's 90% probably of what percentage would you give it as being the foundation? Beyond, we still tweak.
Well, if you don't include sleep and exercise, it's 65, 70%.
Oh.
Because it helps sleep and exercise. Whereas just doing sleep and exercise, if you're eating sad,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't come together. You don't have the full foundation.
I don't like this light. I'm looking at it and going, ooh. I sort of had that.
that uplighting, that horror movie. There was a diet made out of carbohydrates, and it was full of oxalates. Bootstrapper is asking, do y'all supplement iodine? I had issues with it when I was on Carnivore.
I do supplement iodine. I am hypothyroid. I've been able to reduce my medication since going Carnivore. But I still do take one of the natural Armor Thyroid, I think it is. And I do supplement every day with iodine drops as well. Yeah. And we live in the middle of the country. There is no ocean near us. And I don't like seafood at all. So I do supplement iodine.
I do occasionally take I break an iodine tablet in half and take it every few days. It's completely a made up protocol. It's just total magic. I don't know.
Honestly, I do it based on the recommendation of so many good doctors, but I don't know. I didn't do it early in my journey, but I don't know that I noticed a huge difference either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bootstrapper says, I also hate seafood.
Yeah.
But he says, I think humans are meant to eat seafood. It's very easy to be iodine deficient.
Yeah.
I just kind of take it to cover my bases. I'm not really trying to solve a problem with it. Charlie's here. Darth Carnivore.
Hey, Charlie.
2 years on Carnivore quadrupled my testosterone compared to 15 years ago. Doc doesn't seem concerned. I get flagged as high on this lab test.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Talk about feeling powerful. Holy Moses.
Well, congratulations on that.
Oh my goodness.
What a life change you've gone through. That is just incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, just feeling like I can live life is wonderful.
Yeah.
Without many restrictions.
That whole, the whole hormone thing for you has been incredible as you've had your supplemental hormones have come down because carnivore's helping you cover your bases more.
Yes. I do take bioidentical hormones because, like I said, in my 30s, I was flat on my back a big portion of the time. Like that decade is kind of a lost decade for me. And so I did pursue bioidentical hormones and started on those in my 40s and have been able to reduce the dosage quite a bit, which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled about. Not only have I been able to reduce my dosage, but I feel better. Just even with those, I felt they improved my quality of life greatly. And yet I still felt like I had to be careful. Like that cliff, I always call it the cliff, like energy mood cliff. I could see it right there on the horizon. And if I wasn't careful, I'd fall off the cliff. But now that almost never happens. It just happened. I just did fall off the cliff with the play.
Oh yeah, right.
A couple weekends ago. And that's been the first time I've been that drained in a long time.
So Bootstrapper's asking, what are bioidentical hormones?
So they are this is kind of funny. So hormones you can have hormone replacement therapy. So especially females, as our hormone levels change, and it is a natural, well, I don't know if it's a natural change. Dr. Elizabeth Bright says it's maybe not quite.
Okay, that's an aside.
Yes.
For you, it did change.
For me, it did change. My hormone levels changed. And so it's like supplementing for those lost hormones. And you can either go the chemical route that doesn't exactly match your cell receptors. I'm not great at explaining this, but it doesn't exactly match with my natural hormone receptors or anyone's natural hormone receptors. Or you can get bioidentical hormones, which ironically, I have heard are predominantly made from plants, many of them, but they have the correct, what's the opposite of a receptor?
I don't know.
I don't know. But they are identical to our receptors so that it's as close to our own natural hormone as possible so that our cells are able to respond to them in a much more natural way and take them in a much more natural way. So when we heard about all of the hormone replacement issues, all those studies back decades ago that frightened all the women, number one, those studies were not correctly done and not correctly reported. But number two, they were not bioidentical hormones either. So,
but to be on that protocol, you need a doctor who specializes in it.
Yes, you do.
And you have to go in every 3-4 months for blood labs and
and
to be re-upped on that plan.
And that's how I'd want to do it. Actually, I think you can. I know of one keto influencer who does, and there might be more, but I know of one who has a sort of mail order, where you visit your doctor online, like a telemedicine type thing. And maybe that's fine. And I just know that I definitely want to be tested all the time because I don't want to overdo it. And my levels has changed so dramatically since changing my diet that I don't want to be doing things that could be harmful to my body.
Right. Yeah.
I want to only get myself up to my norm, not exceed it and turn into the bearded lady or something.
Right. I don't want that either.
No.
I don't want that for you.
No. But honestly, also, if my hormones get out of whack the wrong direction, it causes mood issues and such as well. So, yeah.
I think the influencer in our community who talks about it the most is Dr. Bright.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's against hormone supplementation.
But getting hormones under control through
Yes.
diet is her whole thing. And it's about eating lots of fat.
It is. And so my last blood lab, we dropped my hormones even lower. And so I was starting to get a little hot flashy.
Mm.
So I returned to Dr. Elizabeth Bright, reread her book, and have upped my fat. And I have almost, for the month of April, been doing almost a priming type, Bella and Steak and Butter Gang, a priming type of diet where I'm eating a little more. My pants are fitting a little tighter, I got to tell you. And doing a lot of extra fat to just support my body in this transition. Because I do believe my body's going to even out with this lower dose of hormone. I don't think I'm going to need to raise it again, but there is a little bit of an adaptation period.
Yep.
So I've been hitting it hard. Literally, I have been eating. I don't think I've quite gotten to a whole stick of butter. I think it's been somewhere between a half stick a day to 7 tablespoons, which is almost a stick.
Is that taking a half a stick and chomping it like Bella does in her Instagram videos?
So I can do that, but I don't like it a whole lot. And I'm eating your old butter, which I don't really like that well either. Yeah. He went through a butter phase.
I did.
And it was unsalted. I do not like unsalted butter that well. But somehow every time I went to the grocery store, I kept buying you more and more. We had a freezer full of unsalted butter. I'm almost through it. But what I do is I take a really thinly sliced piece of salami, deli meat, and, pretty clean. And I put a very light smear of spreadable raw cheese on it. And then I put a butter pat on top of that. So that little bit of cheese, and I can do cheese and it's very light, that almost tricks me into thinking the butter is cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little sleight of tongue.
It's exactly. Exactly. So that's how I've been eating it, is with that little bit of salami and a little bit of cheese.
Yeah, I just don't put butter in anything.
No, you're not.
I don't eat butter.
You're not into that right now.
Keisha's here.
Hey.
I studied Dr. Bright, and fat made me have diarrhea.
Oh, no.
Not conducive to a lady such as me each day, so I feel like I had to not eat extra fat.
Yeah.
Well, that is a problem.
Yeah. I've not experienced that, even on the day when I had 7 tablespoons of extra butter, and probably 8, because I put another one on my steak too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did not have that problem. So I've not seen any issues. However, like I said, I've kind of been priming, so I've been eating a little more and adding the fat, and I definitely feel like my pants are tighter right now. And I keep telling myself, it's healing. It's what I'm doing right now. And pretty soon I will go back to my normal way.
Bootstrapper says, have either of you successfully convinced anyone from your personal circles to do carnivore? I want my wife to do it, but it seems an impossible task. She eats more bread than anyone I've ever met.
That reminds me of your mom.
Yeah, my mom was a breadaholic. I was too.
Well, yes. Yeah.
Have we convinced anyone? We don't try to convince. we explain what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And if they bite, then that's great. But if they don't, we just allow them to make their choices and do their own research. They need to.
Yes.
Excuse
I have, my family has not bitten. And I have one family member that consistently sends me things about how many mushrooms and blueberries and things I should be eating for XYZ purposes. And then I have a very close friend who lives near me. Now, they have not adopted the carnivore lifestyle, yet they have added a lot more meat into their diets, including their kids who are still growing have added a lot of meat into their diets. And I've even heard that son number 2 has lost some weight.
Oh.
So I think I've modeled it for this family. And even though they're not fully carnivore, I do feel like I've had a positive impact on how they're eating as a whole.
Yeah.
And I love that. It makes me thrilled.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you about convincing a spouse. That's a tightrope.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it, Bootstrapper? Let us know in the comments. I'm curious.
So we had a great video last Tuesday. It originally had a different thumbnail, and that was not great. And so about 10 minutes in, I switched it to this one I made in about 1 minute. I put JJ and a title that I just Carnivore Made Easy, and it rescued it sort of. But it's not really about Carnivore Made Easy. It's not like it's a how-to to do carnivore in an easy way. It's all about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And so for anyone who's thinking about doing carnivore or carnivore curious or trying to get back onto carnivore after being away from it, we talk about kind of mindset, not tricks, but techniques to reframe what's difficult into something that's more manageable.
Yeah.
And I think it was really, really valuable content. And during the course of shooting it, I sort of improved my own mood about some things.
You did. Yeah,
I did. I got from what we call tyrannosaur arms, where it's too hard, to back into some sort of powerful sense of capability. So that was good.
It's really interesting because I've said it before. I've been life coaching. I got certified in 2008, so it's been a while. And I think it's so much easier to do mindset work when you're fueled properly and nourished properly. And yet it's kind of a what comes first, the chicken or the egg thing. Because I think some people, as we discussed in the video, need to have some mindset shifts to be successful with the diet.
Yes.
Or this way of eating. Diet's a weird word.
I mean, obviously, so many people throughout the decades of their lives have had to try to institute a change in eating, and getting that willpower to the level where you're going to make the change can come from a lot of directions. I think that what people need is to exert less willpower. And that was the point of the video, was how do you exert less willpower?
Yeah.
Because in the past, you know what it took me to do. Like if I was going to get on keto or green smoothies or something, it wasn't willpower. I had to manifest fury.
Yeah, you did.
I had to be extremely angry at myself and all food. And I saw the change as one, it was going to be unpleasant, and I deserved it.
Yeah.
So
it was binge and punishment.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
No.
It wasn't the winning mindset, and I don't recommend doing that. Although anger can get you out of neutral.
Yes, but yeah, it wasn't effective though. Yeah.
No.
It was not. We went out to eat for our lunch.
Yeah.
Dinner, lunch today. And we went to a local place, had some patties.
Yep. Really, really well done. But not good.
They're usually delicious, and they usually the server asks whether you want pink, and she didn't, and we forgot, and we did not get pink. No way.
We got like shoe leather brown.
But anyway, we heard the next table over talking, and there was a woman a little older than us, probably about 10 years older, in her 60s. And she was really concerned about getting a no-fat dressing for her salad. And they had one, so she was happy about that. But then she thought there might be too much sodium in that. So she ended up getting, she talked to the server, and she got some pico de gallo. They make fresh pico de gallo on her salad. So as I was leaving, I saw her salad as we walked by, and it was lettuce with pico de gallo. There wasn't even any meat on it. So she's trying very hard to eat healthy, and according to the old rules. But all I could think when we left is how hard that is.
Yeah.
How hungry you are. Her husband was eating a pizza, by the way. But how hungry you get. And like you said, how much willpower it takes to go to this restaurant and order a salad with some pico de gallo on it.
Yep. But we can't just get up from our table and go over there and talk to her and tell her that she's wrong.
No.
That wouldn't be welcomed, and I don't think the restaurant would appreciate it either.
No, I don't think they would.
Mama GTV says,
hey,
love butter. It makes everything move so well in my system.
See, individuality, bioidentity. My words today. I just recorded about 5 videos, and my talking is not good.
Not for this channel.
Not
either.
for this channel. No, for my life coaching job.
Unfortunately, I wish you had recorded 5 videos for this channel. Darth Carnivore, loved your Tuesday video. Lots of great meat for thought. Always with the puns. I love it. I do carnivore on and off. My longest was about 4 months, where I lost 40 pounds.
Amazing.
Usually I fall off the wagon due to holidays or events, and getting back on can be very hard for me. Yep. That was my whole pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was the holidays I would give in to all the temptation.
40 pounds though. Holy cow.
And it's fairly easy if I primarily eat ribeyes, but that breaks the bank. Ribeyes are not my favorite. I don't know what's wrong with me. Annette's here.
Hey,
Annette is in the house. It's good to see you again. Thanks for showing up.
It is. I think it is challenging if your spouse isn't on board as well. I know. It's just more challenging. I feel very fortunate that we both got with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you are going to be making a guest appearance.
Yes, I am.
Here. What day is that going to happen?
That's happening on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central. And I think we'll be on Lioness Lifestyle on YouTube. And they're going to give us the code, whatever, so that we can try to also stream it on our channel. We'll see.
Yeah, we don't know how that's
We've
gonna
never
work.
tried that before. So that may or may not happen. But I'd love it if you tuned in. That would be amazing. I have been on podcasts before, but always for my life coaching stuff. So this is my first.
So Lioness Lifestyle, that'll be Adrian.
Yep.
Christy, Eating Wellness, and Ellie, Nourishment
Yes.
Redacted.
Yes.
And I will be behind the camera, which means I will not even be in the same room because the camera doesn't need anybody behind it.
Yeah. I mean, we did Dave Mack's YouTube.
We should do a counter programming, and we should get Charlie and I and maybe Chances around. We could do the Lion Lifestyle.
No, you have to do that at 8 p.m.
Oh,
See, we lead into you. Or vice versa. You could also do it earlier.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited to do that. And yeah, it's just the first time I've done a solo carnivore. So I'm excited.
I think you can handle it.
I think I can.
I think you'll be good.
Yeah. But do not. This is what I do. I'd point the finger. Do not record 5 videos before the interview where my tongue doesn't work anymore.
Yep. Also, do not drink a Topo Chico right before you go on air.
Oh, yeah.
We got this comment on our last video. I think a big part of it is realizing that most of the foods and beverages that we are mourning the loss of just aren't all that great. It's often just a minute or two of some sweet or crunchy taste that is quickly forgotten. We exaggerate how wonderful carbs are.
Yeah. Now, my first year or so of carnivore, as I've mentioned, when I go out with my friends, sometimes I have a salad or something else. We go to a place where there really isn't an option for me. If there was an option, I'd take it. If there wasn't, I didn't. And if I had an off-plan meal, then that gave me permission to stop at the gas station or whatever and get a snack that I wanted, an off-plan snack. So that first year or so I experimented with having some carbs here and there, like you're talking about, and one of the biggest ones I remember is I was like, oh, I want some M&Ms. So after my lunch, I went and got some M&Ms. They just weren't that good. So most of the carbs, I agree, most of the time, the thing that I think I want was not that great.
Yeah, we had our very specific cheat day for Christmas.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that I wanted, and they were good, but were they worth it?
Yeah.
That was the calculus that it didn't seem like it was.
There's very little
that's
worth it anymore. Yeah.
Especially if it's really going to celebrate, you can make a keto carnivore sort of substitute. And that can get you 80% of their way there, but that's its own danger. Plus it tends to have artificial sweeteners in it, which maybe aren't that the best for us.
We have had Easter since we last talked, right? That was last weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I think, yes, last Friday I had talked about, we were having pizza party on the Saturday before Easter, which I did not want any pizza. So I made us some carnivore pizza. I don't even
Nashville
remember.
Guy?
No, I think it might have been Indigo Neely, but basically an egg white based pizza crust. And we had enough for Friday night and then Saturday. So Friday night I made it. And we often, when we've had pizza in the past, the same thing, this carnivore pizza crust, we've had an Alfredo sauce on it, or sometimes even marinara. I know, it's crazy. But I really, this is some of my family that tells me I should be eating mushrooms and stuff. So I wanted to show up and be like, no, I seriously do not keep telling me about mushrooms. So I wanted a truly carnivore pizza with cheese, right? Dairy included. So Friday night, I made the white pizza with ricotta cheese and mozzarella and some prosciutto. It was fine. It was okay. But I learned what to do to tweak it, right? That was my experimental run. So the next day, I pre-crisped the prosciutto before I put it on the pizza. And I added a little bit, this is not carnivore, but I added a little more red pepper flake. That pizza was amazing. It was amazing. So it was the egg white crust, Indigo Neely. It was ricotta cheese with salt in it, some red pepper flakes, and some prosciutto and mozzarella. So good.
And it got you there.
It really did get me there. It was so good. Could not believe it. So anyway, and that was a we've talked about, are substitutes a good thing or a bad thing? And for the pizza party, it was a good thing to have a substitute, and it was delicious. So,
Keisha says, I love the taste of butter on my filet mignon, but it was like 4 tablespoons. Maybe I should just try one. Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, the 4. Yeah, that might.
That might be a proportion thing.
Yes.
Bootstrapper says, do you do much for your copper intake? Carnivores who mostly eat beef can sometimes be low in copper levels and high in iron. I don't specifically do anything for copper, although I think there's probably some in my desiccated liver. I take a very low dose of the desiccated liver most days to try to cover some bases because, liver is this vitamin. I don't know. But I don't do anything specifically for copper. I think I was taking the keto was the daily minerals.
Yeah.
The Keto Chow daily minerals that taste like a sea of acid from Venus or something. And I decided it was too I would rather just not live that long.
Oh.
But do you do anything for copper?
I don't. Years ago, when I got diagnosed with my adrenal fatigue and had my issues and was seeing my first naturopath, my copper was too high. I had to detox my copper. And that was the garlic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was the garlic protocol that we've talked about.
That was not good.
I'm forbidden from eating garlic ever again, although it sometimes happens on accident. So I don't know. That's made me a little more cautious the other way. Like I've swung the other way where
you don't want to overdo it.
I don't want to overdo it.
Well, if anybody else has insight into this, please put it in the chat. Michelle. Hi, Michelle. It's good to see you here again. Awesome. My second favorite live stream. Are we the second favorite live stream or the Lioness lifestyle? I'll read it that we're the number one because that's how I want to read it.
I'm okay with number 2.
Bootstrapper, when I'm on carnivore, the carbs I miss the most are the things like rice, potatoes, tomatoes, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's understandable. You have a whole life eating those things and you associate them with certain things as well. Oh, well, hey, look at this. $2. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I was thinking about how we've said it before. Like we look at Charlie, who's lost how many hundred? Is it 200?
Yeah.
200 pounds. So we look at some of these stories and people have had huge transformations. Huge. Now for us, our transformations feel equally as huge because we both feel like we've gotten our life back. But externally, we don't have that big before and after type picture. But I was thinking about it just today. What I feel like for me is that I sort of represent the typical Gen X woman who went through life with the single parent. We were eating. I was a latchkey kid. I'd come home and eat O'Grady's au gratin. I had the Kudos granola bar covered in chocolate in my lunchbox. I'd come home. I was often the one who'd help make dinner. And that dinner was based on rice and pasta 9 times out of 10. Sometimes it was hamburger helper, so highly processed. Other times I made my own spaghetti sauce, but it was with over a bunch of noodles. And so I just feel like so much of not just my generation, there are others too, but we were so focused on that rice and the potatoes and the pasta that it became such a huge part of our life. So it's sort of a normal to have those, like, oh my gosh, those are the carbs we grew up on.
Yeah.
Those are the carbs we built our meals and our lives on. And yeah, it can be hard to give it up.
You sure can.
And yeah, and I feel like for me, I was diagnosed with gluten intolerance, possible celiac, when I turned 40. And that was my first time I saw how diet could make such a huge difference. And I am so very grateful that I got so sick and was diagnosed with that at a young age so that I could get rid of those things at a young age. Now I use substitutes, right? I did gluten-free,
Mm-hmm.
but we even backed way off of the gluten-free stuff. Well, like you wanted a lot of gluten-free stuff, but rice is gluten-free. But anyway, we backed way off the carbs then. So I feel like I was a little bit primed for carnivore by being gluten-free for about 13 years or 10 years. I don't know how long.
Michelle says, I had a few desserts on Easter, homemade, but everything tasted super sweet. I think I will try to abstain going forward. Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. When you've you get a long stretch of carnivore and you do have something with sugar in it, it's shockingly tooth coating sweet.
Yeah.
Your pizza sounds amazing, but it wouldn't do my GI tract any good. By the way, hi JJ and Eric and all.
Hello. Simpson.
It's good to see you back again. Thank you.
Yeah, and I do okay with dairy, but I do notice that if I have too much dairy, like if I ate that every day, that would be a problem.
Yeah, the dairy doesn't seem to bother me a whole lot, but I just don't I don't moderate as well. If it's just steak and eggs, I hit a point where I can't eat anymore and I don't want to eat anymore. But if there's a little cheese around, I'll probably go 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 bites past satiety.
Right.
It's kind of funny how that works. But I also don't crave cheese really that much. I like it, but it's not something that I just have to have. So
no, I've always been much more of a cheese snacker than you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Charlie says, my mini golden doodle dog has lost her carnivore credentials. She's behaving really well for my wife for salad greens.
That is kind of weird.
Well,
but they do eat grass.
Yeah, dogs are interesting. They'll eat a lot of different things you wouldn't expect. Like little buddy would beg for bananas.
That's true.
It was a dog my parents had.
A beagle who loved bananas.
He loved bananas more than almost anything.
Yeah.
And yes, we are confirmed to be number 1.
Oh. Our dog rolled in a dead thing today. Now, this is Arrow. And many of you have heard of Lucky, who passed, over the Rainbow Bridge?
Yeah.
I think that last fall. Lucky loved to roll in anything all the time.
Yeah.
Arrow does not do it very often. I'm very grateful for that. But he did today. So he got a good bathing. Oh, my.
Yeah. Charlie's confirming. Yep. Actually, 206 pounds lost now, representing just over 50% for my heaviest.
Holy cow.
Excellent work.
Yeah.
And if you were joined late, he reported that his testosterone is up quadrupled since 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Carnivore makes you powerful is the title of this, and we should have just turned the whole thing over to Charlie. Simpson says, really awesome. I'm stuck at 80 pounds lost. Lots and lots of other victories, but I need to lose the rest.
Oh, 80 pounds is amazing.
Yep.
Amazing. I can't imagine how good that must feel.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Oh, yeah. Charlie.
Yep. Nothing to sneeze at. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, between us, I don't think we're quite to 80 pounds.
No, I'm 30.
I'm 35.
Yeah.
Give or take, depending on the day. Have you noticed any dental improvements while being on carnivore? Not sure if it's just me, but I feel my teeth stay very clean and whiten a bit too. Huh?
Agreed. Agreed. My dentist canceled my appointment last May because she was going out of town or something. And I have not made an appointment since because I feel like my teeth are pretty clean. Now, I think it's time. I'm planning to go this summer and just get a cleaning. But I'm very sensitive to having clean teeth. My mom was in the dental industry and I've noticed a big difference. There's just not anything to get gross really usually. So it's great. I love it. And it makes sense to me. Okay? Like, again, go back to pre-agriculture and maybe nomadic tribes. They're not losing their teeth all over the place. They don't have dentists.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Doesn't it make sense that they would be eating a diet that supports healthy?
It's actually kind of interesting that early hominins are found very often with their teeth intact.
Yeah.
But then agricultural revolution starts, and then you start finding the skulls with no teeth or bad abscesses because the teeth are in contact with carbohydrates all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that encourages the bacteria in the cavities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, or the dental caries, as they say.
Yes. Yes.
So the other day, it was time for dinner. It was dinnerish time. And you were hungry, but not too hungry.
Well, here's the thing.
But you needed something.
Yes. Here's the thing too, is the weather, it's spring here in Wisconsin. So we had been out working that day.
Yeah.
Out in the yard doing spring cleanup. And I was hungry. I wanted to eat quickly to close my window because I still try to maintain an eating window. And so what did I do? I didn't want to cook a big steak. Wasn't sure I could eat a whole steak. So what I went, hey, wait a minute. Dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 da. Carnivore bar to the rescue.
What flavor was it?
Honey salted.
Oh, so there's some little bit of sweetness in there.
There is. Yeah. I don't care.
Well, it also doesn't taste very sweet.
No, it doesn't taste sweet. So I'm not going to go off the rails with this thing by any means. But I think there are like 7 carbs in it or something. So
in a whole bar?
Did you
eat a whole one?
And I usually eat half because I'll eat a little snack. And I'm kind of usually done by half. But I ate the whole thing and it tasted amazing. So I was hungry after doing my work. But we've talked about how carnivore bars aren't cheap. Like you could get a steak for the price of this bar. But because of the processing, as far as there's a lot of cost in this bar to get the high quality meat and then to do the whole rendering process and the pemmican. You start with a whole bunch of meat and you wind up with a little bar out of a whole bunch of meat. So I'm just saying there is a great use for the carnivore bar when traveling, but also working outside all day, don't want to cook the steak, want something fast, bam.
20 grams of protein, 35 grams of fat. So I don't eat them.
No, he's not
I mean, occasionally I'll have like a corner of one and that's enough for me. They taste too tallowy for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to try them, you can use JJ and Eric at carnivorebar.com for 10% off.
Yeah. For me, I always have them in the cupboard for that type of a thing. And they last forever.
Yeah, because I don't eat them.
I have to say though, okay, here again, this one's got the honey in it, but it doesn't taste sweet. But I did prefer it. We got the variety pack and I definitely preferred the honey to the no honey. The barbecue, that didn't do much for me.
That wasn't your favorite.
No, but when they did the apple pie, I think it was last fall, which again, not strictly carnivore because it had some apple in it. So good. And I ate the last apple. I mean, I've really
rationed it out.
Rationed those through the winter. And so I ate my last apple little piece about a couple weeks ago. So I have no more apple, but this was great. So.
Oh, let's see here. Simpson says, my Pomeranian only eats meat and rolls in anything dead also. Now, Pomeranian, aren't they poofy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really gross to have to wash that out of little
pom-pom
puffball dog.
Yeah.
Augie is here.
Hey.
Good to see you. welcome back. We love seeing familiar, well, I would say a face, but you're showing up as an O in
A familiar
purple
O.
circle. Annette says, I've been able to get my two 80-year-old neighbors to eat more salt. One is traveling to Michigan soon, and she bought the Redmond electrolyte stick packs. Yeah, the salty. Is that? No, that's not Redmond.
No.
Who's that? Is that
That's Keto Chow.
Keto Chow?
Yeah.
Redmond has electrolyte sticks?
Yep, they do.
What is it called? I didn't know they existed.
They do.
All right.
It's escaping me right now, but they do. Yeah.
I just saw a Rhonda Patrick post that there was a study that showed that reducing salt for blood pressure was not as effective as increasing potassium. So they had patients keep salt the same and increase potassium, and that was better for their blood pressure than reducing salt alone. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Annette wants to try the carnivore bars. They would be really great on a long bike ride.
Yes,
Yeah. And they would travel pretty well.
Yeah.
So you don't like ribeyes. For each of you, what's your favorite carnivore food?
I have been thinking that we maybe have to do a video on this. Just a little update on what we've been eating.
I feel like it would be the same thing as I always say.
No, it's not totally.
No,
I don't think so. But you go.
My go-to is a New York strip steak with egg yolks fried, and then a little over medium, so runny, and then I just dip each bite of steak into a little bit of cooked egg yolk.
Yeah.
And it's all slightly salted, and that's it.
Yeah. My favorite steak right now is also a New York strip. And I went through a long phase, like year and a half long phase of ribeyes, but now it's the New York strip. And I've reported on Courtney Luna's fake Cobb salad in the past, like for a while now. I've been on that almost every day. I'm easing a little bit out of that and only having that a couple times a week right now, because my new fave is for breakfast is an omelet, ham and cheese omelet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm into that right now. Holy cow.
I was cooking breakfast the other day, and I like to listen to a podcast while I'm, pretty much doing anything.
Yeah.
I've got my headphones on. But in the mornings, I often will listen to a carnivore or keto related show. And Dr. Boz had a brand new video that morning that was, she was holding a glass full of blue liquid, and she had a blue tongue.
Yes.
It was like this color.
It was, yeah.
And she was taking methylene blue. And I've been hearing about this, but I've never taken it. So if any of you have ever any experience with it, because I don't know what to make of it.
No, I don't
It's
know
a dye, right? And apparently it's good for your mitochondria.
Yes.
But it was interesting because Dr. Boz was pretty positive about it, about the experience of using it.
She was so far, although she did say she feels like she needs to do 4 consecutive weeks to get some good data for herself.
But she felt like it almost made her almost slightly manic when she took too much of it. So I don't really know what it's indicated for.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see if anybody else knows anything about it, because I thought the video was interesting.
Yeah.
And if it had been anybody else, I probably would have I don't know.
Right. Right. But I do like that she's just very open to trying different things. And I really appreciate that about her.
Yeah. Although I did see in the comments that the specific one she had linked to from Amazon, people didn't think was reputable. So maybe she hadn't researched it. Darth Carnivore bars are good for on the go, just pricey, but no way I could make pemmican as good as theirs.
No.
Yeah. That's the beauty of, if somebody has really specialized in doing something, they can really get good at it and make it repeatable.
Yeah. Yeah, they are pricey, but they'll last me several months, because I just eat usually about a half here.
I could see it as like a nice thing to sock away in, emergency.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
Because it would keep forever, you'd think. Yeah. It's made out of fat. Oh, it's Redmond Relay. I've heard of that. Yes,
yes.
I haven't tried it yet.
Hey,
What's Annette? Have you tried it? And what's the flavor? What's the best flavor? Or do you just have the unflavored? Smoky Bear Lover. Hello there. Just tuned in. I'll have to watch the replay. Yes, everybody, even if you watch the whole thing, watch the whole replay, watch it 5 or 6 times, send it to family and friends, post it on Facebook, share it. We should do, I mean, every time I watch Dr. Barry and he starts with, yes, you can share this video.
I give you permission.
I give you permission. That cracks me up every time. Do not share my video. I don't want anybody seeing it. But yeah, you have our permission to share it on Facebook, send it to loved ones, people who need to hear this. They need to hear JJ's fake laugh.
Yeah.
Or if you don't like JJ's fake laugh, send it to your enemies.
Yeah, that'll work.
If you're a vegan and there's somebody you really don't like and you think, I want them to be carnivore, send us to them. Simpson says, I'm afraid to try carnivore bars. I might decide that they are better than the pemmican that I make myself. Well, there's no way for me to know whether that's true, but if you're making a pemmican yourself, then you're probably not going to want to pay carnivore prices, carnivore bar prices, because you're probably, if not better, if you're 80% there, then that's good. Annette says, New York strip steak and wild caught shrimp is my absolute favorite. Yeah. I don't eat shrimp, but I have in the past. I just, you always have to get your blue up to natural ancestral appropriate levels of blue. Am I right? Yes, that's right. That is a good point.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
That is a good point. It's like, yes, we found in this archaeological dig, they had this food dye and their teeth were all blue. My experience with methylene blue is in the lab. No desire to take it. Yeah. Wasn't methylene blue what Walter White made and sold on Breaking Bad? That would not be methylene blue.
I've had the urge to rewatch that at some
Breaking
point
Bad
pretty soon. Yeah.
It is a you have to be in the right frame of mind for that one,
especially season 1. But I remember we've only watched it once through, right? Yeah. Okay. So I remember doing that, and I think it was considerably after it actually aired. Yeah. And this does tie into carnivore slightly in that I remember it shifted your paradigm a little bit, because there's such a blurring of the lines of what is good and bad or evil, good and evil in that show, and who is good and evil. And I remember you being like, it's kind of like it's hard to say there's an absolute from different perspectives. They're just different perspectives. I don't know. Do you remember that?
I do,
because speak to it better.
House of Cards was the same. You didn't watch that one. Was the same. Like the main character is a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I'm Breaking Bad unequivally, without objectively speaking, Walter White's wife was the villain of the show.
So, but it just blurs lines and things, and certainly I feel like the lines have been blurred in different ways in the last several years around.
Just generally speaking.
Speaking, yeah. And around diet as well. So, yeah. It's just very interesting who's got the power and who doesn't. Back to carnivore makes you powerful.
Yep. The Redmond electrolyte, Annette likes their lemon lime. They have many flavors: mixed berry, strawberry, lime, cranberry, something. I'm forgetting. Strawberry lemonade. Ooh, I've been thinking that there should be a lemonade flavored electrolyte drink. It sounds dangerous. It sounds like something I'd have like 5 of and then have really high sodium problems.
But some different flavors there. That's interesting. Yeah.
We should give some of those a try.
Yeah.
But we've been enjoying the salty, although I don't have it very frequently.
No,
But my favorite salty is the orange, zesty orange.
I had to back off of it a little bit because it was starting when I had it in the afternoon, it would start to trigger my, what is that? My foraging response, I feel like.
Oh,
Now, for a long time, I had no issue with any salty or when I did element, no issue at all having that midday flavored electrolyte. And then all of a sudden it did. I was like, oh, I need something else. I need something else.
Yeah,
I
that
need
is
something
the-
else. And I kind of finally tied it back to that. And so I've reduced my intake quite a bit to just a couple times a week. And it's after dinner. For some reason I can do it after dinner. Well, because my window closes, I think. It's just a black and white thing for me. So then there's no foraging after dinner.
Carnivore would be so much easier if I didn't have an aversion to eggs since birth. On paper, they are basically the best food you can eat. I eat about a dozen a day on many
Yes.
days of the week.
Yeah.
But I don't eat all of the whites. So some of the whites are.
But that would be a lot
yeah.
easier. And I get, for me, I've had an aversion to fish my entire life. So I do understand that.
So if you've had problems with sardines in the past because you just can't stand the taste, not every tin of sardines is good.
Oh.
I had my Wild Planet sardines in water. I went to get my box and get more mini boxes out of it, and there was no box. I had eaten them all and didn't realize it. I stopped at the grocery store and I picked up Kroger brand sardines in water. And I saw they had one in a mustard sauce, and the ingredients looked a little sus, but I got it anyway because I'm going to put a little mustard in it. Anyway, no, the Kroger sardines are very fishy.
Oh.
The Wild Planet they're fish, but that's not nearly as fishy. So if you've tried sardines and you didn't like them, maybe it's just the wrong tin. Hadn't brought the Relight in a hot minute. I had got their mango, but it doesn't mix as well as Element-E or salty. Oh, so it doesn't dissolve into water as well. Yeah, salty is my favorite. I would agree. I think that salty's done better work on flavor.
I really liked Element's watermelon. I liked it a lot. It was very sweet. But I understand that Salty has also redone their melon, and I think it's supposed to be a little more like the Element. But I don't know. That might be a slippery slope too. So I like the orange a lot.
Well, Annette's tried them all.
Mhm.
So far, Salty is the best in Cherry Chill.
We do have Cherry Chill.
Have I tried? I don't know if I've tried that one.
You did it.
And-
You did it.
Oh, I had a cup of it at the Kosai.
Yeah. I
don't remember it. Groovy grapefruit. I wouldn't choose grapefruit. I think Element-E was the best watermelon flavor. I'm choosing not to use Element-E for now.
Mm-hmm.
Get it? Oh, bad killers, Eric. Yeah. I don't know if there's bad.
I forgot about that.
I don't know if there's bad killers, but there's definitely bad sardines. Yeah.
Oh.
Keisha says, I heard Kelly Hogan says that she drinks sparkling water by Waterloo because it doesn't have any artificial sweeteners. I may try that if it doesn't spike my sweet taste. I've never heard of it.
I'm glad you actually brought that up because I saw that video and I was getting ready for, in the bathroom in the morning. And so I want to try it as well. I have not tried it, but she said she got it at Walmart.
Oh,
so
it's available.
It's probably available at our Walmart as well.
I'd try it.
Yeah.
I did try. I mentioned maybe last live. I was like, has anybody tried this hydrogen tablets in water?
Yeah.
That I heard this Gary Brecka on Joe Rogan talking about how it's this great antioxidant. And so I got some. I tried it twice, and Both times it gave me a severe headache.
Oh, I
And
didn't realize that.
I threw them out. And it might have been the artificial flavor in it, which was not good. I don't know. It effervesced a little bit, but it wasn't bubbly. I think it's just hokum. All sardines are nasty little fishes.
I agree. Although I wish I wanted to eat them. I really do.
Do you plan to introduce fruit to your diets in the future? Some people argue it's ancestrally appropriate. Fruits will be a rare treat.
Yes, that's it. It is. I don't plan to ever adopt it regularly. And like when we went to my family's for Easter, there was some fruit there. I had some fruit. So yeah, I have occasionally, and I do have it. We have a tremendous amount of wild black raspberry.
Yeah.
And we have some wild strawberries on our land as well. So when berry season comes, I do partake.
You forage those.
I do forage those, and I do have some, and then they're gone. But again, it's, they're tiny. It's all very small. So you have to get quite a bit. So yeah, so it's never going to be a regular thing for me, but it is a treat that I feel like I can have, because also Dr. Georgia Eade
take a drink
says that it's one of the lesser toxic plants, right? She's not the only one who says that, but it's not that bad for you. But I do think the carbs are.
Yeah.
And I do think the portion sizes are out of control.
Yeah. I'm going to jump down real quick for
Okay,
what Simpson's point is here. The ancestral fruit isn't like today's fruit.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Is the banana of today is not the banana of yesteryear.
So the strawberries I had for Easter were like this, like a size of an apple, right? And that is not ancestral. The strawberries I get in my yard are the size of a pencil eraser.
They're tiny little things.
So yeah, but again, I
was not tempted by those strawberries because I don't like strawberries. So a giant one is even worse than a little one.
Yeah. So yeah, never making it a regular thing, because I do think the carb content is an issue for me. I don't surf 3 hours a day and all that.
Deborah says, I'm trying different brands of sardines. So far, the boneless, skinless are the best, not fishy at all. The brand is Safe Catch. Not heard that brand, but maybe you should check out Safe Catch.
Yeah.
And then who are you saying air fries them to get them crispy? Because I don't remember who I was hearing about that.
I thought it was on here.
Yeah, maybe somebody here said that. Haven't done that yet. I should try it. After a long day in the sun, I like to put electrolytes in my sparkling water carefully. Now, how do you do this? Because when I did this, I ended up with a volcano experiment in my kitchen. So do you have to just meter it in very slowly so that it doesn't just foam up and shoot everywhere? Because I want to know that technique. Oh, here we go. The other day I wanted something for lunch and didn't feel like cooking anything. I grabbed a can of sardines and mixed in a little mustard, just like me. That's how it's done.
Actually, that's what I said. This is like my tin of sardines.
And if you're hungry, that can be such a good treat. It's so good.
A treat. Such a good treat.
It hits the spot. It's like the body's like, yeah, I needed some fish. I need some nasty little fishes. Do you have a stance on smoking meats versus not? Smoking foods is so good, but I worry about carcinogens. Smoked salmon, for instance, is divine. Well, we have the big green egg.
Yes.
And you do use it, but you don't throw wood chips in there beyond the charcoal that's in it, because I don't like the smoked flavor that much.
No, you don't like a very smoky meat. So it's not something we do all the time, but I don't worry about it either. I kind of go the Dr. Berry route and think that humans have been smoking meats since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's probably that bad. However, they didn't smoke their meats with lighter fluid and stuff. Like there might be some other things at play there. I don't know. Although I don't think you use lighter fluid for smoking.
I wouldn't.
I think I'm going into grill mode instead of smoking, but yeah. So I'm not terribly concerned. And that said, it's not something we're doing all the time.
King Oscar sardines and olive oil is your favorite. They come in cellar wrap and a box, depending on which country they're from. And the box are my favorite. They are firmer. Oh, interesting.
Well, I know King Oscar is at our Kroger.
Yeah, and the ones we have are in the little plastic wrap. Okay, so here's how you do it. Well, I said carefully. I have a soda stream, so I fill the bottle, then add that to my 40-ounce bottle with ice, then add the electrolytes slowly, let it fizz, then add more. It has worked great so far. So yeah, it's just metering it out so that it doesn't just explode. Because it's like Mentos and Coke if you just dump the whole package in. Well, I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah.
I'll have to try it with some Topo Chico.
Yeah, and I do feel like we're getting into electrolyte season where we've said we've backed off, but there might be more.
Yeah, well, when it gets hot and
Yeah.
we're doing work outside, I'll definitely need it
After the
occasionally.
long day in the sun.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. That always helps us. And if you haven't seen our last video, which I talked about earlier, but go find this on our channel and watch it. We talk about mindset and some hacks for making life easier with less willpower.
Yes.
I thought it was a pretty good video.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
I kind of always think that. So we've been gone an hour and 11 minutes.
Nice.
So I think we should probably wrap it up, JJ.
I think you're right. I think it is about time to say farewell until next week.
Every day stronger.
Every day more blessed.
Bye-bye.
JJ and Eric, their lipids are high. Their doctors are worried they're both gonna die. Is LDL harmless? They sure hope it's so. It's the JJ and Eric Carnivore Show. Salad is toxic, seed oils are doom. They rub on tallow like greasy perfume. Ribeyes and bacon, that's all they know. It's the JJ and Eric Carnivore Show. No wheat, no kale, they're laughing at greens. 18-hour fasts are their favorite routines. Sugars for suckers, they're chomping on fat. Streaming to you live from a tallow vat. Eric's got muscles, JJ's got zen. They're coming to chat with their carnivore friends. So toss out the lettuce, embrace the